This is Jerry McDonald along with Matt Schneidman with your Raiders news video report for the day. Thursday, September 14th. Raiders are preparing to play the New York Jets, and both coordinators spoke to the media today. Offensive coordinator Todd Downing, defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. And Todd Downing had a lot to be happy about, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most notable thing that we were interested in, at least, of what Downing talked about was one of the negatives from the game. It came on the second drive when Marshawn Lynch converted a 4th and 1 from the 3-yard line, and then from the 2-yard line, Derek Carr threw 3 straight incomplete passes to Amari Cooper. When asked kind of what went into that decision, why didn't you run Lynch, Downing said yes, obviously there was some thought to run Lynch.
I certainly look at every play call and wonder if that's the best position I could have put the offense in to have success. And I look at that whether it's 3rd and goal on the 2 or the first play of the game. That whole sequence, I won't reveal too much with you, but there were certainly thoughts to run the ball there. What they did defensively kind of changed our approach.
But what Tennessee was showing them, the audibles they had built into their goal line scenarios, he thought it was better to throw to Cooper, and obviously any of those 3 plays could have just as easily worked. They were just inches away. So that was interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they're in that same scenario against the Jets. Then also Todd Downing talked about kind of the running back rotation. Marshawn Lynch didn't play for the entire second quarter. He received 18 carries compared to Jalen Richard's 5 and DeAndre Washington's 3.
There's definitely something to that. I think having fresh legs in the 4th quarter, especially for a veteran like Marshawn, really plays to our advantage, and that's something we hope we can continue to do throughout the years.
And he really emphasized the need to keep Lynch fresh, especially as a veteran, fresh for the 4th quarter, to play that closer role they brought him in to serve, which he did pretty well against the Titans on Sunday.
As for Ken Norton Jr., if he were to take the podium and crow a little bit, he could have been forgiven. I mean, his defense took a lot of hits on the chin from media, national media, local media, from their own fan base, based on the way that they played during the preseason. Norton, of course, took the high road and didn't do that.
Yeah, I think something very notable about what Ken Norton Jr. talked about today was the Raiders' run defense.
Last year, and we really felt like it was important for us to take that away from them, make them really one-dimensional. And we felt, going into it, the team that we're talking about, Tennessee, if they rushed for under 100 yards, they were they didn't win as many games. They were 0-14, something like that. So we felt like stopping the run was really important to us, and to put in obvious situations gave us a chance to really get our coverage and our rush to work together, and we felt that we accomplished that.
The Tennessee Titans had the 3rd most rushing yards in the NFL last year, and they Oakland held Tennessee to 95 yards. DeMarco Murray ranked 3rd in the league in yards, total yards last year. Him and Derrick Henry, a seemingly potent attack. The Raiders kind of held him in check. Now they get Bilal Powell and Matt Forte, maybe less explosive guys, but guys who are definitely effective in the pass game and the run game. The Jets had the 12th best run offense last year, so it'll be interesting to see if the Raiders can have the same amount of success against New York this weekend.
Today was the 30th birthday for Raiders wide receiver Michael Crabtree. I wrote a big profile on Michael Crabtree last week, and during the course of that time, I had reached out for Deion Sanders, who I didn't really expect to talk to. Deion does not do a lot of non-national interviews. But after the story posted, much to my surprise, Sanders was not only willing to talk, but eager to talk about Crabtree. I posted a story on that today. I found it interesting that Sanders' persona, when you see him on NFL Network and prime time, so to speak, is much different when talking about Crabtree, a guy who he's been a mentor to from 2009. And who, he was like, talking to an uncle, talking about a relative, about how proud he was of him. You can check that out on our website. Also news today, Sean Smith was not practicing today, out in a bucket hat and watching the practice with a neck injury. So the arrow would be pointing down on him, because yesterday he did practice and was limited. The interesting part about that could be that we may see rookie Garyon Conley on Sunday, because the Raiders will be down a cornerback, and the Jets would seem to be a good opponent to get Conley on the field for the first time. Also, fullback Jameis Olawale was practicing again and had a helmet on, was running through drills. I think there's a good chance we're going to see him play. Safety Keith McGill, we'll see. He was coming off a foot injury. He's out there again. Also, I would rate Olawale as having a better shot at playing than McGill. Again, this is Jerry McDonald and Matt Schneidman with your Raiders report for today.